Israeli liberal news outlet Haaretz just published a piece for their Hebrew language audience that reaches breathtaking new levels of dehumanization and tone deafness. The piece was highlighted and documented by a Twitter user called GoonMac. Quote, Haaretz has published in Hebrew, not English, an incomprehensibly vile article in the style of a lifestyle cooking feature about Israel soldiers finding and cooking with ingredients in the kitchens of Gazans who had to flee their homes and are now starving. I was also able to pull up the article and use Google Translate to verify the content is indeed as represented in this Twitter thread. Basically, for this feature, they interview several IDF soldiers about how they scrounge around in the bombed-out homes of Gazans, combine these pilfered goods with their own rations, and then prepare bountiful feasts that help them take a much-needed mental break from all of that hard genocide work. It's replete with images of these thieving chefs and the culinary delights that they concocted in the family homes of terrorized Palestinians. Just take a look at this scrumptious dish that the article labels bruschetta alla Gaza. I guess the scent of smoking ruins, death, and ambiance of utter devastation really brings out the flavor, doesn't it, guys? Here we see some war buddies sharing a meal with the caption, "Warm meal. We understood that it is possible to fight and take part in campaigns and yet eat well, and this became the story of our unit." How heartwarming. A little time away from raiding hospitals and terrorizing children to cherish a basic life necessity, which you are currently denying to the entire Gaza population. The story of your unit being the elaborate meals you prepare as you impose on Gazans a story of a daily search for scraps. Any concerns about the war crime-laden context are shrugged off by both writer and soldiers. Haaretz asked casually about, quote, the feelings of cooking and eating in Gaza family homes. The response, at least per Google Translate, quote, there are mixed feelings, no doubt. After all, I use their tools in their house when they are not here. But on the other hand, we have to eat. In the end, the urge and desire to eat increases. It is important to clarify that these are abandoned houses, some of them destroyed or destined for demolition. And this is the way the IDF fights in Gaza. Oh yes, we are well aware of how you fight in Gaza. Back in December, the Wall Street Journal reported that a full 70% of Gazan homes had either been damaged or destroyed, part of the complete destruction of civilian life that has been one of the actual primary goals of the Israeli response. That's part of the context in which this glossy lifestyle feature was produced, soldiers quartering and pilfering in the very homes they've forced families out of through sheer terror. The other context is the mass famine that these soldiers are helping to impose on Gazans as they steal the food from their houses. In fact, we just learned this week from the head of the World Food Program, Cindy McCain, that children in Gaza are now actually dying of starvation. Here is Senator Chris Van Hollen revealing this horror on the Senate floor just before, of course, still voting to fund the war criminals.